Hello and good morning. I want to talk about my late theater director, Paul Wegman. It was early in the morning on Tuesday, August 24th, 2004, when he passed away. He was a brilliant man. I let me read the article from Orlando Sentinel back then. Wegman, Paul Michael, age 59, passed on to his next journey in the early morning, Tuesday, August 24th, 2004. With a deep love in his heart for all things theatrical, Paul advanced the development of the dramatic arts in Central Florida. There are a few stages in town that didn't benefit from his presence, whether he was directing, acting, or selling tickets. A true entertainer, he performed an amazing and expansive repertoire of characters in diverse and popular plays. Paul had a fondness for Shakespeare's works, and he not only inaugurated but also performed in many seasons of the annual Shakespeare Festival. Local fans and visitors alike experienced his cutting-edge humor and lively performance art during a 25-year career with the Parliament House. We'll get back to that. Born and raised in Rochester, New York, Paul moved to Florida in the 1960s, eventually settling in Orlando. An avid reader and student, he graduated magna cum laude with a B.A. in theater from University of Central Florida and received his A.A. degree from Seminole Community College. He was a member of the Honor Society of Pi Kappa Pi at UCF. He shared his knowledge and encouraged aspiring actors through his adjunct professor position at Valencia Community College. Over the years, Paul received many awards and acknowledgments from local civic, charitable, and theatrical organizations. It goes on at the time how he is predeceased by his mother, survived by his father, his sister, brother, nieces and grandnieces, and other family members. Lots of information during this time period. Wednesday, September 29th at 7:30, with a Peter Pan-like attitude of desiring to never grow up, he faced each day of his life with whimsy, enthusiasm, creativity, and energy. His absence will be sorrowfully felt by so many, by his memory and joy shall live on with the thousands of friends, fans, and fellow artists he touched over the years. When I first met Paul, it was my second audition, this time for being at Valencia, not just high school. It was, I forget my plays now. The first one was She Stoops to Conquer. I was on stage with a lovely young girl who did not make the part. And I was wearing contact lenses. Maybe I'll get to that one day if anyone watches that video. I only had one lens because I had problems with those disposable things, and it's horrible. So I told him, I'm sorry, I have one contact lens in and I'm trying to, focus on everything. I'm blinking away in despair and pain, and he's laughing his head off. He thought it was the most hilarious thing. He thought it was, and I wasn't acting. That's the thing. I was just trying to go, what's going on here? But he thought my antics were hilarious. He thought I was doing it on purpose. No, I was as nervous as hell. And he gave me a part. My first acting gig. course, it was, a little minor thing. I had the part of Jack Slang, the bar patron, and one of the butlers, I guess. Yeah, the butlers. In the scene after that, he added another scene with us. There was three of us, three Stooges. The character's name was Dick, but he changed it to Thomas. He also made me the understudy for the bar patron, tavern patron, Stingo. So we only ran the play from, did we do it Thursday? We did all the rehearsals. It was only 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks of the play, but the rehearsals, and then we had our grand opening on Friday night, which I was on both Friday nights because the person in Tale had religious aspects going on. So I play the part of Mr. Stingo. Games Saturday and Sunday I was back to playing Jack Slang, but still being Thomas on right afterwards. I don't know the difference between the characters of being in tavern and being Thomas. I had the same wig. I had a different vest, and I literally dropped my shorts because we had to push the sets. Sets he wanted were, not connected to the background. They were movable sets. He did that for both plays. So as I'm pushing the set, I'm opening the safety pin off my green shorts, and they're just flapping down because I'm, underneath I'm wearing my blue shorts and different vests. As playing Thomas as the bumbling butler, third one, the tall one. So it was a hilarious time. It was beautiful. I remember it was probably the Sunday when we were doing pictures. I wish I had the pictures. I really, really wish I had the pictures for both plays, but I don't know. They're somewhere lost in Valencia State College. But Paul said in his raspy voice,
"I should have given the part of Stingo to Tom."
I looked at him like, what?
He said, "Don't let it go to your head."
I didn't. I was like, wow. Someone who was enthusiastic about me, but believed in me. It was pretty cool. And let's see, after She Stoops to Conquer, I hung around with the theater people. That group wasn't really that great. The next group, when we did the second play, I hung around with them more, and even when they went to the film department, the film director didn't like me hanging around there because I wasn't part of their group. I wasn't paying to be a student there. I just, want to be with the in crowd. If I go back, I wouldn't do it. But when the second play came around, when I knew he was going to direct, I sure hope my microphone is still on. Yes, it is. Thank you. Screen went blank. Sorry. Not going to do the video again. When the second play came around, Crucifer Blood, I was like, oh yes, I've got to be in the Crucifer Blood. This is the main thing. And so I go in, audition, and knowing I was going to be in the play because it was Paul. He believed in me, and I had to do it. So I read the part. I was kind of upset that I had 2 minor parts. But then again, proven that, like when I do the show on Legend of the Traveling TARDIS and anything else, my little improvisation only works to a point. Can't really hustle along without any real knowledge, so gonna get to that point soon too. I had two minor parts. Two minor meaning. Well, one minor part, really minor, scene 1, act 1. Act 1, scene 1. And then the secondary, yeah, because we had the primary and a secondary. So in the act 1, there were three of us, as basically extras. I had lines, but those were tertiary characters. When we started doing act 3 and so forth, my character became a secondary character, while the other two guys, they had one little scene at the end, like here and there. So I had a secondary and tertiary character, so that was pretty cool. Like in She Soups the Conqueror, I had, secondary and background character. Jack Slang didn't really do anything. But let's go back to that for a second. When I was Jack Slang, it was one of the other actors that had the... jumping ahead again. See, that's what happens when I do the improving and not writing things down, just going by memory. Jack Slang was a tavern patron. I did a little dance, sat down in one of the characters' chairs, which was brought about by the other actor to make a little thing going on, and so I had my one line as Jack Slang. No lines as Thomas. But there was hilarity there. As Mr. Stingo, my performance was like the other actor. And Paul went, no. You gotta make it your own character. His raspy voice. He smoked a lot. And so I took on the voice of Billy Connolly. And it annoyed some of the actors because, I can talk like Billy Connolly all day long. My name is I'm Stingo. Yes, Mr. So-and-so, this and that, another thing, blah, blah. And he loved it. That's why he should have, and he said, should have put me as Stingo in the first place, because I had more character than this other guy who, I took an acting class with him. He was the same character. He plays the same character, just a different wig, different time period. More of a, oh yes, anything you say, sir. Aha. That's basically what his character is. And so mine was just the complete opposite. It was like, wild and crazy, I'm Billy Connolly accent going on here. I'm going to do whatever it takes, and hilarity. So, with going forward to Cruise for Blood, it was an eye booger? No. Yeah, it was. Cruise for Blood. I played Wally Dodd. So, put on the makeup, put on the big beard, headband, and everything else, because it was India. And I was a mute. And as I was attacking one of the soldiers, I had the sword up to his... It was a very violent role against me. Both of them, actually. I had the knife, and it was tackling me, and I said something. I was like, you can talk. I speak too well, and in this new India, it best be silent and listen. And then you can hear me being shot, and I collapse off stage while I'm trying to scurry to the back into the dressing room to wash my face, remove the beard, wash my face, take out the band, clean up, because I have possibly 5 minutes to go from my rags as an Afghan Indian to Butler Birdie Johnson. And once I'm all cleaned up, everything set and ready. Again, the sets are floating sets. So draw the curtain there. I am standing not by the window. I'm standing looking at a portrait. And here comes one of the actors he's aged from back. You gotta watch the movie Christopher Blood, basically. George C. Scott. You see the guy with the knife tackling one of the soldiers. That's me. And then come out as Bertie Johnson. He's in his wheelchair and he's hitting me with a cane. And Paul's like, hit him hard. Is my punishment. I'll tell you why in a moment. And then I grab the cane. I'm supposed to grab the cane from him and my lines, and then about to strike him down.
Strike me down.
And then I draw back, hand him the cane. And so this goes on from Act 3, jump to 3. We run off stage. I think we have intermission then. It's been such a long time. End up in a opium den where I'm lying behind a barrel and I'm dealing with the other soldier who is older at the time. And he's like shaking me because and I'm running up these stairs, and the two other actors, the girl and Mr. Watson, are standing there, and I'm running, so Mr. Watson has to catch me because it's a long ass drop. It's a 2-story drop. So thankfully he's a big dude, short big dude, but he caught me, and I just sat there on the other. Like, okay, they took the ladder away from me because they didn't want to see the ladder coming down. So like, I'm stuck on the stairs. One time I actually climbed down the beams. Holy crap, with my fear of heights and everything else falling, breaking my neck. I did it. Did it one time only. Never did it again. Jump this next scene. Jump the scene after that. I'm in the house and I see the girl, and we're like chasing around, saying, "No, what's going on here?" So we run to the side, run to the side, and we all count 1, 2, 3, and everyone knows 1, 2, 3. Scream. We both scream, and then we kind of edge our way to the back of the set and sit and wait while the scene continues on. She comes back. The other guy who played the other Indian in Act 1, he's now a police officer, skinny little dude, and he has to carry me, taller, bigger, over his shoulder. And that's when Paul shows like,
Tom, go limp.
and I went limp, like, so I'm like, ugh, over Paul's shoulder. So his little dude, he carried me. It was a hilarity. I was like, oh my god. And when he carries me across from stage right to stage left. Stage right, stage left. And you see he's putting me down. We're putting me down, and they don't even put the curtains up. Then the curtains is just empty. You can see the stage, and you see my legs wiggling up back and forth because he's like, oh my god, he's gonna drop me. And so we just walk behind there. And for the rest of the shows, I put my gloves back on, put my bow tie back on. So for the encore scene, the bowing. It's been too long. I've been out of theater. I can't even think of the lines and the words and terms anymore. Ovation, standing ovations. The start of it, I was trying to work on my degree in college. Didn't do that well. And Paul was mad at me because I didn't do well. I was behind, much like I am when I did Solid Ground. I didn't study my lines. Didn't study well in school either. That's just, I thought, well, I'm an actor. I can figure this out. I can do method acting things. No, I'm not a method actor. I'm a traditional actor. My memory's crap. It was a little while afterwards, after the play was done, some college student asked or interviewed Paul about me because they wouldn't put me in a student film, which never happened. And then they came back and told me this because Wegman not gonna tell me nothing. Don't let it go to my head.
What can I say?
Tom Cusack.
He doesn't know his lines, can't remember his blocking, can't do anything right. But then that son of a bitch will go up on stage and do everything perfect. He's a fucking asshole.
And my friend at the time, she said, "Oh my God, such a compliment." I said, "I know. That's the biggest compliment anyone would ever get from Paul Wigman." I mentioned earlier about Parliament House. It's a gay bar in Orlando, still exists. He was Miss P. I keep being confused. Was it Miss M or Miss P? I think it was Miss P for Miss Paul. Drag queen, everything else, yeah.
All raspy voice because all the years of smoking. Full makeup.
And when some of the actors went to see him at Parliament House, of course, you can see everything. It's like, yeah, rip them apart. I know better. Now, it doesn't bother me would never bother me going to Parliament House, but, no. To see Paul Wigman, that man, that leads me back to the first time I saw Paul during She Stoops to Conquer, which is a theater version of a theatrical version of Taming of the Shrew. Paul just got finished doing Ebenezer Scrooge, so his hair was all white and poofy in the back and a shaved head. So I first saw him, like, what? Okay. Of course, when he did Crucifer, he was already done. His hair was growing back, everything else. He saw me one time after I took tickets during one of the plays that I was supposed to be in or something. I don't remember. Too many little things here. But he said,
"Why'd you do anything?"
And I remember one time I called him. He said,
"How'd you get my number?"
It's like, well, Julia Gagne, the theater director, she posted his phone number on there. He was pissed. It's like, me, one of his favorite people in the whole world, who basically gave up on acting, called him and he got pissed off because, how did I get his phone number? I had his email too. But at the time I was working on a new email and I forgot to use it. So that's when I lost track of him. I remember some years later I saw him walking downtown Orlando. I was in the car. I was like, oh my God, it's Paul. But I wasn't driving. And it was going from west to east. Oh boy, through downtown, no way of stopping. So it was the last time I actually saw him. This was years before. Those who don't know, it's long past, but Paul died of AIDS. That's what hurts. Lost Freddie Mercury, Rock Hudson, Paul Wigman. Brilliant man who It's like he said the best description of me ever. I'm a fucking asshole. Man who gave me the start in my career, which ultimately just led to, She Stoops to Conquer, Cruise for Blood, bit parts in a Doctor Who fan film, one bit part in the other Doctor Who fan film, the creating of 3 Doctor Who fan films, which are still on tape, Doctor Who Stories, which I still can't even finish one freaking chapter since March. And this whole, the collecting thing was my, hoarding is another thing. Well, yeah, I did do Solid Ground. That was a TV show. And if I ever get my DVD burner hooked up, I'm going to put that DVD in a thing, load up episode 10 so everyone can see aliens exist from Solid Ground, one of the best episodes ever done. And a commentary from lead actor of the show, Ryan McCartney, who mentioned me in the comments and said that was the best thing. It's like every year I kind of forget when Paul passed away, but this time I made sure I was a week ahead of time. And I was contemplating, should I actually do a video? Yeah. Will I do it next year? Probably not. I just, reset it, or if it's it's going to be so far down the line, I may do it again. Just, that's because it's by Paul. The one person that believed in me. So, Paul, I know you're looking down and still pissed off at me because... But look, now I'm on Team TARDIS. I even got the thing in the back there, which I got I'm the Doctor. I can figure things out, too. Hey, Paul, I'm the Doctor. I made a little bit of something in my life. Right now, he's just looking down, shaking his head, and saying, what a fucking asshole. I miss you, Paul. We all do. You're a good man. You shouldn't have left us the way you did. Should have been because you smoked too much. Smoking all them damn cigarettes and that raspy voice of yours. That's why we all knew it was you. How you got mad at me for everything.